strange request, phone call, from Associate Chaplain Phil Smith. He said, would you be willing to cut one of the students' hair here on campus? I said, sure. Today was the day. Do you know the gentleman named Fazli, the Afghani student who was the victim of the hit-and-run accident here on campus? He lives in Chandler, not too far from here, and he was the one that Phil asked me whose hair to cut. The man is in what's called a halo that is around his head. Very difficult to get clippers and scissors and everything else, but after an hour, we managed to get that haircut today. And can I tell you what he said to me? He said, Father, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It was the greatest thing anyone has ever done for me. And I'm scratching my, what? The greatest thing anyone has ever done for you. And then he's pulling out his wallet. And I said, no. He hands me $20. And he said, you'll insult me if you don't take it. I said, do you mind if I give it to CCM tonight in the collection? He goes, as you wish. Phil told me, temptation. Phil told me that after the accident and after his first surgery, he was laying on the bed, the halo on, covered in bandages, and he managed to speak. And Phil said his first words were, I thank God, because it could be worse. What faith? Faith, my friends, is not endemic to us as humans. It is learned behavior. I think back to my childhood and my mother and father when I was given something by my grandparents or an aunt and uncle, the first word, what do you say? I mean, it just always had to be reminded, what do you say? I am 25 years a priest, and after my Jubilee back in June, my mother calls me and said, did you write thank you notes to everybody who gave you a gift? I said, Mother, you taught me that lesson a long time ago. Of course I did. Thank you very much. But it's learned behavior. I try to teach that behavior to young students. Twice a year, we friars here in Burlington have an opportunity to listen to the confessions of the children at Blessed Sacrament School. And invariably, I always get those who just celebrated their first penance. And they're sitting one-on-one across from me, and here's the scenario. I disobeyed my parents. I dissed my father. I hit my little brother. I kicked my dog. And I said to them at the end, so what do you think is the worst thing you did? And they said, I kicked my dog. I said, I said, let me ask you a few questions. Who bought you those clothes you're wearing? Who provides a bed for you to sleep in? Who drives you to football, to soccer, to piano lessons, to dance? Who feeds you 3 meals a day? And the answer is Mom and Dad. I said, that's right. Without Mom and Dad, you wouldn't be here. I said, so for your penance, I ask you to do some act of kindness or an act of gratitude to your parents. In other words, maybe clean your room before they ask. But don't tell them it's a penance. And they chuckle, and they do it. We need to learn gratitude. It's something we have to learn. You're familiar with this book, Richard Carlson, a while back. The name of the book is Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff. One quick chapter here is called Spend a Moment Every Day Thinking of Someone to Thank. And it goes like this. This simple strategy, and it is, which may take only a few seconds to complete, has long been one of the most important habits I've ever engaged in. I try to remember to start my day by thinking of someone to thank. To me, gratitude and inner peace go hand in hand. The more genuinely grateful I feel for the gift of my life, the more peaceful I feel. Gratitude, then, is worthy of a little practice. He says, I learned a long time ago that it's easy to allow my mind to slip into various forms of negativity. When I do, the first thing that leaves me is my gratitude. It may seem like an awfully simple suggestion, but it really works. If you wake up in the morning with gratitude on your mind, it's pretty difficult, in fact, almost impossible, to feel anything but peace. We have two great and wonderful examples in our reading today. Naaman, a foreigner, healed of his leprosy by washing in the Jordan River. He had a reflective thought, and that reflective thought made him go back to Elisha to thank him. Out of the 10 lepers, one of them had a reflective thought and realized what had been done to him and returned to thank God. But it wasn't just the thinking that led to the thanking. That wasn't the end. It was the thinking that led to the thanking that went to the praise of God. The thinking, thanking led to faith, to a belief in God. A wonderful thing. So it's not just the gratitude that Jesus was lauding this man for, that he came back. He was lauding him because of his faith. He had the time to reflect. Something great and powerful has happened to me, and I didn't do it. This man, Jesus, did. And I'm going to offer my praise and thanks. Now, you might think, what was wrong with the other 9? Were they ungrateful? Are you kidding me? They were freed and cleaned from leprosy. Of course they were thankful. They were welcomed back into their communities. They were given life again. Of course they were thankful. They may have had excuses. We too may have some of these excuses. Procrastination. I'll do it tomorrow. How about assumption? He knows I'm thankful. I don't have to tell him. How about insensitivity? No big deal for him. He just said a few words and I was healed. Here's one that I think is very powerful in our day and age. Entitlement. It's about time. I was sick a long time. I deserve to be healthy in the first place. Selfishness. I'm getting a new life now. I don't have time to offer thanks. Thoughtlessness. What for? What difference will my thank you make? Arrogance. He's only doing what he's supposed to be doing. Besides, he should thank me for being there so he could do his job. Irresponsibility. It's in the past. I'm healthy now. I want to forget all about my illness. Hopelessness. It's too late. I should have done it before. What can I do now? Survey says 9 out of 10 thoughts can restrain our gratitude. Can I tell you what Fosley, the gentleman's hair I cut today, what his gratitude did for me? I got on my knees when I left there and I cried because I was given the opportunity to do something for this gentleman for which he said it was the greatest thing I've ever had done. It moved me. Matthew, T, and I were reflecting on the readings the other day for this particular Sunday, and we came up with this, a discussion page on our Elon CCM group page. And I'm sure some of you are already on that group page. And if you go to it, you'll see the discussion has started. Here's the question I've posed there. Ingratitude plagues our world and our campus. How is it that we can ever be ungrateful since all we have is a gift? Please join in the discussion if you will. Everything we have is a gift from God. God only asks us for our faith for our gratitude and our acknowledgement to think of him, because he is the source of